The sun glared down at the earth. The nearby corpse of what was once a healthy, lively tree swayed its deceased branches against the soft wind. The blades of grass danced solemnly underneath the puppy. The poor, tired creature lay starving and sickly on the front lawn of the abandoned house, its owner having left nothing behind. No food, no water, no friends for the puppy to play with. But the owner had left the puppy. He had left behind his dearest companion who had supported him during his darkest moments. Surely he would come back, right? As the dog raised its head to gaze out upon the street and empty fields in front of its rural Smallville home, it thought about the memories of racing after the tennis ball its owner would throw out into the front lawn on the warm summer days. It remembered the embrace of its owner, how he would come home and feed it, how he would pet it when he was bored, when he seemed stressed, when he seemed tired, when he seemed like the day had gotten the best of him. The dog was there, in all of the owner's darkest times. Those moments in the day when the dog would comfort its owner were some of the happiest, brightest moments the puppy ever knew. But the nights were different. Every night the owner would come home, a horrible expression on his face, eyes teeming with hatred and malice. The owner, frustrated and consumed by drunken rage and fury, would return to his house from the local bar, taking his anger on life out on everything in his home, including his companion. The dog would suffer nights like this at the hands of the man who had sworn to give it a good home when he had bought the dog from the animal shelter. Every day the puppy would comfort its owner, would, in a sense, care for the man in the same way the man would care for it. And then at night, the puppy would endure abuse and non-stop torment at the hands of someone it considered family. And then one night, as the man came home for yet another drunken round of rage, something was different. The expression on his face was not filled with so much anger as it was emptiness. There was something vacant from the man's expression, something the puppy, of course, could not pick up on. Whatever had consumed the man this night compelled him to pick up the dog, take it out to the front lawn, and chain it to the pole sticking out of the ground, where the man would take it every day it had to do its business in the lawn. The man then entered his car and drove into the night, never to be seen by his companion ever again. As the puppy started to lay its weary head back on its arms, its ears perked up. The sound of wind shifting violently overtook its hearing. As it turned to its right, its vision became filled with a mix of blue, red, and golden yellow. A tall man, hovering a few feet above the ground, stared down at the puppy. Hi, said the man. The puppy did not respond. It simply looked up, an empty, blank, lifeless expression across its face. The man turned his attention to the house. He looked at it, gazed upon the stories that could have lurked there. The good, the bad, and the tragic. The front doorknob was missing, a hole now having overtaken its place. No cars to be seen, no presence of life. Though the man was not expecting any presence, for he had seen the remnants of the owner just a few streets down. They had been in a car accident. The man treated the dog with more respect than most people would. He did not care to tell it of its owner's tragic passing. Instead, he used his heat vision to break apart the chain. He picked up the dog and flew up, and away. Away from the house, away from the fields and the surrounding trees. It had now been 3 months since the dog's savior had come to free it. It spent the day much as it had any other day, sitting in front of the only window in the small pet store in downtown Metropolis. Its eyes lined wearily over the streets, at the occasional people who would pass by the store, their eyes glued to their phones, never paying any mind to the lonely, abandoned puppy, in need of a friend, tired, alone, somewhat hungry. Although more well-fed than it had been before, the dog laid its head down on its arms, ready to go to sleep, when suddenly the sound of the bell to the front door rang out. The door flung open, and in came a well-dressed man with a comb-over, glasses dressing his small blue eyes, a smile shining brightly on his face. Yet the dog recognized this man. His scent was similar to the man dressed in red, blue, and golden yellow, although his face looked somewhat different. The man looked at the dog, smiled even wider, looked at the person working at the front counter, and said, "I'll take this one, please." He then looked back down at the dog and said, "How's it going? My name is Clark Kent. I can't wait for you to meet my friends Lois and Jimmy.